Well, hello there, and thanks for joining me. This is the last season of Series 17. That means it is springtime, and the co-op championship this week is called Hatch Me If You Can. So maybe we're going to be chased down by Tom Hanks, or maybe I just have to cheat my way to some victories like Leonardo. For this week's trial, the choice of car was limited to B-Class, and of course it had to be a hot hatch. Like last week, I wanted to try something special, but in the entire list of available cars, there was nothing too out of the ordinary. So I just decided to go for the oldest car. That would be a car from 2003, which is still pretty young. This gave me a choice between either the Renault Sport Clio V6 or the Volkswagen Gold R32. And I went for the Golf. The Renault is the better looking one of the two, but in the short time I drove it around, it turned out to be rather slippery. And once it started sliding, it would not stop until I had seen all the sides of the map. So the choice for me was pretty easy. B-Class also means little PI to play with, and the tune does not have the clutch upgrade. So shifting was rather slow. Something to take into account. First up is Mortimer's Pass, and I start in the middle of the human team. But I have all-wheel drive, so let's hope I can advance fast through the field. And that kind of happens. Already early on I get to pass at least one teammate, but then of course the first corner comes along. And well, already drivatars are busy looking at their GPSs instead of the road, and the shenanigans start. I drive into the back of a drivatar, quite unavoidable I think, and then a teammate decides to help me get back up to speed by returning the favor to me. Now, the next corner is quite tricky, as demonstrated beautifully by Monkey Mike Thor. That gives me the opportunity to bump draft on Going Diagram 2, albeit more bumping than drafting. We're up in 4th place, but one well-placed civilian car helps in shifting some positions around. I get to pass our teammate, and the drivatar in front is, well, playing a game of can you dodge this, and I lose the game. I get passed by not one but two teammates. The second one was a surprise, otherwise I would have given him more space. We played the same game of dodging, but he was able to win. Seeing this was a teammate, I'm actually glad he could win. Down to 4th place with two drivatars in front of me, but we still have more than half a race to catch them. And while two teammates battle it out, I can pass a drivatar, and because of their little battle, I can catch one of them as well. Look at the minimap, another game of can you dodge this? I saw it as well while racing, but still could not avoid the complete carnage that would unravel. Still, I'm up in 3rd place. 4th place comes alongside, but well, he has to let me go in the corner. I clearly have the better handling car. I now have one drivatar in front that I still want to catch. And one teammate, but he is too far in the distance. Barring a mistake from his side, there will be little chance in catching him. But seeing as we already had a fair deal of crashes, that remains a possibility. Civilian cars to the rescue! Maybe I need both of them to crash if I want to gain any positions, as the drivatar is running away from me. Not sure what happened behind, as the player behind me says, nice driving. They might have been involved in a crash of some sorts as well, which would not be good. The top 3 is now getting close to one another with only 15% remaining. And it seems that Ongoing Diagram 2 gets his slide on because of a civilian car. This is an opportunity. I have to seize the moment. He goes wide, crashes, and now it comes down. Can I outdrag the Renault to the finish line? 1st place or 2nd place. He slows down. Not sure if it was because of the civilian car or because we're close to the finish line. But I'll take that victory. Thank you very much. We have quite a lead in points. Will it stay this way? Will we get a victory on the first race, Mortimer's Pass? Yes, we do. The player in last place no longer matters, as he currently also does not bring any points to the table, and we already have sufficient points. He happens to be driving the same car. I suppose he had less luck than me. And there you have it, our first championship point. This is going quite well. It is always nice to start these championships with a victory. The first race was rather eventful, a lot of collisions, a lot of shifts in positions, but a win for me and a win for the team. Let's repeat that one in the next race, or try to anyway. Since we're doing street races, all of them will be point-to-point races. I'm glad this is B-class, as I don't know these tracks like I know the circuit races. The next race, for instance, the Glenfinnan Chase, is a track where I know there are a couple of tricky corners, but I am always uncertain which one these are exactly. And in B-class you get that little bit of extra time to react, and even if it does go awry, there is often less impact. I start near the end, only 2 people behind me. The victory of the previous race makes me a little bit confident, even though that previous victory did not come about without a bunch of luck. Let's hope our luck continues in this race. And this race, things start off fairly normal. That's quite a change, nothing special happening. Drivatars not behaving like teenage baboons and teammates not destroying one another. Racing wise, this is ideal. But that means not a lot of video fun. So time to inject some civilian cars. Aslan required to take an alternative route, which seems him land in the countryside. A nice comeback in the 90-degree corner, and he takes out a Drivatar. My luck is with me, as he could have just as easily taken me out with that maneuver. I want to pass the Drivatars, but I am on the outside line. The water affecting my bearing and I hit him, but still I'm able to make the move stick. I gain 2 positions and the other one seems very possible as well. He backs out and I am in the lead. I win a game of can you dodge this, as I am able to avoid the civilian car. But when I look back, there is quite some chaos, almost as bad as when the Chitauri Leviathans came to New York in the first Avengers movie. Almost. The tune for my Volkswagen is not designed for this trial. It is actually a tune for winter, as is made obvious by its name, B700 Winter. It was created by Schranich77, and maybe the winter tune makes this car less prone to the wet conditions of the road. For sure, I like the way it handles, very easy to drive and also very stable. It features 6.5 speed, 6.4 handling, 6.9 acceleration, 8.9 launch and 6.3 braking. Give this one a go, you'll not be sorry. Back in the race, we're gonna play another Can You Dodge This game. It turns out that I cannot. Another game I lose. Well, to be honest, it could have been avoided. I just suck at the game apparently. Well, hey, look, a car, and I did avoid it. Or maybe that was just luck, not entirely sure. Last stretch towards the finish line, and we need some shifts in positions if we want to win this race. I did all I could, quite impossible to gain more points than being in first place. Will we get the points we need to make it? Drivatar tend to slow down near the finish, so everything's still possible. Looking back, there is quite some distance between me and second place. So, me, I get another first place. But will we win this race? And it immediately becomes obvious that we will. First 3 positions are ours, so that alone is already a certain victory. And we even gain some points from the people near the end. Final score, well, it pits our 2,450 against their 1,200 points. We have more than double. A very nice score in the end. We get another championship point. And boy oh boy, dare I say it, last race is for honor only. At least that's what I thought at that moment in time. Little did I know how wrong I was. But let's not spoil anything just yet. Spoilers are never very fun, now are they? For our third race, we head towards the Highland Charge. Another point-to-point race with the starting position at or at least near the finish position of the previous race. In this race we go over the mountain, come down again and end it with a rather fast final section. Can I go for another hat-trick? I have 2 victories already in the pocket, so if I can win this one, that would be awesome. The game puts me near the front, so that only increases my chances of achieving this goal that I have set for myself. The first section is rather difficult, and a lot of people tend to make mistakes here. The corners are a lot sharper than people estimate them to be. Let's see how much of a chaos this will become in this race. And it starts off with a driver car slowing down when I was not anticipating it. That slows me down, but a teammate comes to the rescue and gives me some of his speed. But when I start braking for the sharp corner, I get another involuntary transfer in speed and an involuntary visit to the wrong side of the cobblestone wall. Aslan is also a nature lover, but he too finds his way back to the pavement. 6th place and a lot of driver cars in front. But we still have the mountain section coming up, and that should go in our favor, as it is a twisty section with a lot of braking zones, so lots of opportunity to catch up and pass them. First corner, I'm on the outside, so we need a nice cutback. Perfectly executed, and I gain 1 place. Unfortunately, it was a teammate, so no points gained, but I can now shift my focus to the driver cars in front and start attacking them. I take the very narrow line and it puts me alongside, and I stay alongside for the next corners. But eventually I do get the pass done. And with some bumping and trying to stay on the outside of this driver car, well, I get to pass him as well. 2 driver cars done, 2 more to go as we start the downhill section of the mountain road. I'm right on the tail of the next driver car and in the next corner. Well, I desperately want to avoid the cobblestone wall, which, well, kind of brings me in the path of a rocky patch on the mountain. The tumble that my car makes would make many a cheerleader jealous. For me, it just makes me wish there would be a rewind button in multiplayer. Freeze everybody's game. Sorry people, I made a little boo-boo. Let's go back in time. Just a couple of seconds. And after all of that, Forza throws another "can you dodge this game" at me. But this time I can win by taking the inside line. But seeing as this is the last section of the race, I'm pretty sure that hat-trick I was aiming for also tumbled its way out of the window. Our nature lover Aslan up ahead is in some shenanigans. That allows me to play another part of that game. I get to pass a driver car and him, but then a civilian car slows me down just enough for Nature Boy to keep alongside. But then he decides to honor Nature's call once again. That secures my 5th place as I cross the finish line. But the first 3 positions are for Team Red, so that is the opposite of the previous race and a certain loss for our team. I was unable to defend my honor properly in this last race, as I thought I was a military jet pilot for a moment. A crash that might have cost us the entire race. Or maybe not, we'll never know. Still, 2 points for us and 1 for Team Drivatar. That's a win of the championship, right? Well, what's happening now? Fast traveling to destination? What destination? Where are you going, city boy? It seems we're doing another race. That's fun. I suppose it will be 5 races then, otherwise there's a risk of getting a tie. And I'm not talking about the clothing type. So, we still run the risk of not winning the championship. I need to improve upon my last race and try not to make another silly mistake. The Rail Yard Express is up and I start on final row. Let's hope this race is long enough for me to get a decent finishing position. Barring another attempt at flight, I should be able to pull that off, as there are a lot of sharp corners, which should suit my car. We get off the finish line and this race starts with a nice straight, so yet another rather uneventful start of the race, which is perfect for me. Then Monkey up ahead tries to pummel some cars into oblivion, which makes me decide to try to follow him through the pack. A civilian car makes that rather difficult. My time to start pummeling, but in my case the driver car pummeled back. Fair enough. Then a teammate gets obliterated by a civilian car. 90-degree corner coming up and I notice the civilian cars in time and I win this game of "Can you dodge this?" So proud. I'm up in 3rd place with only 2 driver cars in front. Quite a resemblance of the previous race. Let's hope the outcome will be different though. I'm on my own island between the leaders and my pursuers, but When we start approaching the next corner, I can't get near. Is it near enough though to go for the move? And I try to go for the inside, and it seems I can get the pass done. But then the driver also thinks he's a jet pilot. No way that machine could accelerate like that if it wasn't one. But there is another 90-degree corner coming up. Let's try to repeat that move and this time make it stick. And we do. And I'm also close to the leader. Maybe close enough to immediately go for another move. Again, I stick to the inside and I hope I can get past him. And in the sharp corner we do. We're in first place. Now all I have to do is hold on to it. This next section is funny to me. I once drove an S1 car in winter around the wrong side of that house while battling for second place. If you want to see this funny clip, then check out the description below where I will link that video, or even better, wait for the end of this video and I'll link it in there as well. This time no such alternative driving lines, but a rather clean race. One driver is still on the minimap, so not too far behind. And I know there is still one tricky section coming up. This next section is a rather strange one. I don't think two different people have the same racing line through this section. And me too, I have tried to take it in various ways and I'm still unsure what the best racing line is through this couple of corners. Onwards we go to the finish line, but looking at the points we are about to lose this race as well, which would bring us to a tie. Me, well, I finish in first place. No hat-trick for me, but still, this brings the total to 3 victories for me for this championship. But as far as championship point goes, I believe we will only have 2. Just as much as Team Drivatar, so I guess we will have one last deciding race. Points are now etched in stone as all but one has crossed the finish line, so further changes are impossible. We lost this race. But guess what? It seems there were only 4 races, which you might have realized already when looking at the remaining duration of this video. And of course, a tie is impossible. The solution from Forza: let's give the team with the least points the victory. It's not like maths matter in this world. Anyway, we get to proudly pronounce ourselves victors of this week's trial called Hatch Me If You Can. And along with that comes this beautiful prize in the form of a Renault Clio. If you thought that this video was better than the boring pursuit of Leonardo by Tom, leave a like. If you think this video was funnier, then consider subscribing. If you think this video was just plain better, leave a comment. And I'm just joking, of course. That movie was really good, with excellent performance of both actors. But obviously not as good as my performance was this championship. All jokes aside, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you again next time. For now, I bid you farewell.